And a good Sunday morning to you, everybody, and welcome to News 8 Today. I'm Michael Fuller, alongside meteorologist Mary Ellen Pan, with a check on the Storm Team forecast. We just saw it right there, and as I entered in, it was a beautiful, beautiful sunrise. So hopefully that type of weather continues, you know?
Yeah, but you noticed the mugginess this morning. It was quite humid, but we're going to see that continuing to drop through the day, so that's some good news. And that's the main story today. That we did have some storms last night, some wicked storms. Unfortunately, not everybody got beneficial rain from the storms. It seemed to be located over Lancaster mostly. But anyway, we're starting off. I'm showing you 4 camera shots here because yesterday at this time we were dealing with quite a bit of fog across the area. It's not the case today, although there's some areas dealing with lower visibility. Little haze there at Ephrata, and as we take a look, you can see that visibility is down to about 3/4 of a mile in parts of Lebanon County, mainly north, and then in Selinsgrove down to 0, and Lewistown down to 1/4 of a mile. But elsewhere, we're looking good. Not too bad considering yesterday. Storm Team Live Radar Network showing that there might be a little sprinkle or two popping up there in Franklin County. We have a front that's just sitting across southern areas right along the state line, and it's close enough that we could have an isolated stray shower or thunder shower, but that chance is going to be very low. I do expect mostly dry conditions, especially in the afternoon and most of the area. 70 right now in Lebanon, 72 in Carlisle and Gettysburg, 71 in Lancaster. Dew points are still in the 70s, upper 60s to low 70s, but there is some drier air across Bradford and at 59, Meadville 61-degree dew point there. So that drier air is going to continue to funnel in as we go through the day. We'll call it partly sunny this morning, becoming mostly sunny later today. Highs back up into the upper 80s, which is where we should be for this time of the year. And again, just watch for that stray shower, thunder shower, mainly south of Route 30 across the area today. We do feel the humidity returning and storm chances increase heading back into the work week. I'll have more on that.
You can hear the storms in that video right there. This is video from Lancaster Township. It's giving us a look at some of the storms that passed through the Susquehanna Valley last night. Those storms causing heavy rain in some parts, like here in Mount Joy, where a News 8 viewer sent in this photo of flooding along Cypress Road. Here's another photo of that same road where water was pulling in a nearby yard. And some of the storms even caused damage, like here in Lancaster Township, where a tree fell across Bean Hill Road, causing the street to temporarily be closed. Also in Lancaster County, last night, a lightning strike caused a house in Ephrata Township to catch on fire. The Cocalico Fire Department says it happened just after 8 on Hanston Road and Glenwood Drive.
Every once in a while we'll get a lightning strike. It doesn't happen too often, but we get the big storms that roll through the area with the heavy lightning, and it can occur every once in a while.
And Morgan says no one is living in the house, and thankfully no one was hurt. But because of those storms, the Lancaster County Fireworks Show had to be postponed. The Elizabeth Farms fireworks display in Elizabeth Township will now happen tonight, with gates opening at 5 and fireworks starting at dusk. Admission is $20 per vehicle. And if you want to stay up to date on all things weather, you know we got you covered. Just download the WGAL app and make sure to turn on the alerts so you know when severe weather is coming your way. Well, over now to the nation's capital, where Senate Republicans narrowly advanced President Donald Trump's budget bill after clearing a key hurdle last night. Jackie DeFusco is tracking the legislation from Washington.
Michael, Senate Republicans took a first step on Saturday towards passing their 940-page bill, really just hours after releasing a rewrite. And all of this comes as the clock keeps ticking towards President Trump's July 4th deadline.
Let's celebrate July 4th with the greatest bill ever passed by the United States Congress.
After a razor-thin 51-49 procedural vote on Saturday, the Senate is pushing ahead with President Donald Trump's priorities.
Tax relief for hardworking Americans, economic growth, a stronger national defense, a more secure border, a more reliable energy supply.
But 2 Republican senators, Rand Paul and Thom Tillis, joined Democrats in opposition. Tillis, who is now facing threats of a primary challenge from the president on social media, cited concerns that proposed Medicaid cuts could cause some to lose coverage and hurt rural hospitals. Proposed cuts to green energy programs also facing fresh backlash from former Trump advisor and Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who called the latest Senate draft, quote, utterly insane and destructive. Both concerns echoed by Democrats.
Hard to believe this bill is worse, even worse, than any draft we've seen this far.
The White House released a statement on Saturday saying that it strongly supports passage of the updated bill. Still, senators will have an opportunity to make amendments before a final vote in the chamber, and then it will need to win approval again in the House. In Washington, I'm Jackie DeFusco, WGAL News 8.
All right, Jackie, thank you. So diving into the bill, two of the key issues lawmakers have been fighting over have been Medicaid and funding and tax cuts. So both bills would add new work requirements for certain adults to qualify for Medicaid benefits. The Senate version also proposes $25 billion to fund rural hospitals. That move helped win over at least one Republican holdout. But the latest nonpartisan estimate projects the Senate version will still increase the number of uninsured Americans by millions in the next decade. And as for tax cuts, both bills aim to expand on Trump's 2017 tax cuts. Some of the new tax breaks include no tax on tips, overtime pay, and both versions would increase the child tax credit. Both also raise the cap on state and local deductions, commonly called SALT, but the Senate version would phase the increase out sooner than the House version, which could be a sticking point in negotiations with House Republicans.